Welcome back to Oversight with me, John Attenborough. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Ryan Kyle, who is a communications specialist with Guide Dogs UK. Ryan, welcome to Oversight.
Thank you for having me. Really good to be here and always a pleasure to catch up with you, John.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. I think, being a comms specialist and that, I think a lot of people probably assume that a lot of the job now is just basically like social media and that, but there's obviously a lot more to it than that. So can you maybe explain a bit about what your role at Guide Dogs is?
Absolutely. So, as you say, social media does play quite a big part of it.
Yeah.
We're always looking for really engaging content, looking to share stories of our service users, guide dog owners, people who are perhaps waiting on a guide dog, and like our children and young people service, looking to amplify those stories across our socials. But we also do a lot of work in the press. So when we are putting those stories out, it's important for us as well that we're not just sharing it to an audience that follows us. Like, we want to get that message out far and wide to spread about the great work that Guide Dogs does, and also the inspiring stories that people share with us. Like, we're really appreciative of people who, because it can be quite a difficult subject for people, talking about their sight loss journey. But yeah, it's important for us to amplify those stories, and important for the public to hear those stories and better understand how they can support people.
Yeah, it's an important role, and I imagine quite a busy, fast-moving role as well. You can imagine every day is probably something different.
Yeah, it can be. So a part of our job is also we manage like the National Press Office. So as you can imagine, we're quite a big charity, UK wide, covering Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. So there's lots going on, different places. So yeah, and we do get a lot of inquiries coming in. We also, so essentially we pick up on the stories that come in, reactive stories, but also proactive stories.
So you're sending out press releases and things like that if there's stories that you want to get out there too and stuff.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like, what's great about the job, and I would really credit like the team that I work with, is we have that opportunity to be creative. We can take ideas to like the director of comms or the head of media, and do you know what? Like, they're so open to ideas. They're open to us being creative.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So you're able to sort of pitch your own ideas to them and stuff.
Yeah, exactly that. And do you know what? Like, I think 4 years ago now, I pitched an idea about working in football. I saw that as just a massive audience, particularly a digital audience that perhaps we weren't tapping into as much.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's when you look at some of the football clubs, the following they have, just looking at, say, Chelsea, for example, who we did work with, but I'll go on to talk about that later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We worked with Chelsea and they have 44 million followers just on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
So, again, if you're putting an article out in the paper, you're getting a
few
small,
thousand people,
a smaller amount of people that have eyes on that story, whereas you're putting it out to a massive global audience. And people, we're a nation of dog lovers. They also say what football is the nation's favourite sport. So I thought, let's combine the two.
Yeah,
and let's football, puppies, guide dogs. Surely people will love that.
And you've done quite a lot of work with football clubs over the past 4 years. Even here in Scotland, you had Arbroath and Celtic as well. I think have been really heavily involved with guide dogs and Dundee United too. Can you tell us a wee bit more about that?
Yeah, so looking at Scotland, firstly, what I've found is it really doesn't matter the size of the club. It's how sort of receptive they are to working with us, and they can come to us with ideas. We can share ideas with them. Looking at Arbroath in particular, that was one of the first clubs in Scotland that I worked with, and they were fantastic. Honestly, like, I can't speak more highly of them.
Yeah, they're a great club.
So yeah, just a really well run club, and we went to them just initially with an idea of working together. Our Forfar centre isn't based too far away from Arbroath. So we had 7 guide dog puppies coming out with the players, which was terrifying because that was the first time I had done it.
Yeah.
It was terrifying, but equally, like visually seeing those players walking out with the pups was just incredible.
And that clip went like kind of super viral as well, because it was like the first time any club had kind of done something like that.
Yeah, and it just goes to show, as I say, like, doesn't matter the size of the club, that clip went everywhere.
I think it was even retweeted by Gary Lineker, and that wasn't it?
It was. Gary Lineker and Lorraine Kelly as well.
Yeah.
Which I was buzzing about. like Gary Lineker, I thought, yeah, amazing, like big football personality. But Lorraine Kelly, I was like, do you know what? That's great.
That's good.
Everyone loves Lorraine Kelly.
Yeah.
So yes. But what also made that special about Arbroath was they released a kit. Their third kit was in our charity colours. So that's Labrador yellow and a sort of inky blue.
Yeah.
So they released that kit and they wore that kit when coming out with the puppies. And just another note on Arbroath that ties in with what I do in my role.
Yeah.
So when we were doing a photo shoot to unveil the kit, guess who was put in the big guide dog's mascot costume?
Was it yourself? Was it?
Yours truly. So yeah, that's another part of my role that I don't think
I signed up as a dog sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think I signed up to that, but yeah, I'm happy to do it. And you know what? I could tell everyone. I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me in the paper, because I never get to be in the paper. So
I remember those pictures were everywhere for quite a long time even after the photo shoot. You'd seen them pop up now and again. You know, the players wearing the kit and the guide dog mascot, which was obviously yourself.
Yeah, and you know what? It was probably me pushing it out because I was so proud of that. I think because that was that first sort of club that I'd worked with. In that sense, it really I was really proud of it and just sharing it with family, friends, but also getting the message out there. As I said previously, is really important, and it shows I'm all about raising awareness of issues that affect people with sight loss accessing football.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a real starting point and showed that, yep, this has got potential and this is something I can build on and just get bigger and better.
And it has. I mean, did you find that after, obviously, the first one you did with Arbroath, the first club that you kind of did a partnership with, and with all the sort of viral clips and media coverage, did you find after that other football clubs then started approaching you saying, we want in on this as well, or did you kind of do a bit more outreach work?
I would say, it was, some clubs are more receptive than others, but I totally understand that because they're incredibly busy. You only have to look at some of the teams' like fixture scheduling.
Like 3 a week sometimes. It's crazy.
Exactly.
So I can imagine anybody in their media team must just be run off their feet.
Well, that's it. And even like when there's World Cups or Euros on and players are away for most of the summer, they're coming back and then straight back into football. So I wouldn't say that we had loads of clubs battering down the door. But yeah, it just meant that we could use clips from that within our outreach to clubs and really show them this is what we can do. This will be great for you, but great for guide dogs. Everyone's a winner, basically.
Yeah. It's great because it's good publicity for the clubs. It's good publicity for guide dogs, and it shows the clubs in a positive light as well. Showing that they're doing something sort of inclusive for visually impaired supporters and that as well. And I think one of the clubs here in Scotland, anyway, that you've done quite a bit of work with over the years is Celtic. How did that come about?
Good question, John. How did that come about? I feel like we've done so much work with them now. It's difficult to remember.
It's almost like every year you do something different with them.
So with Celtic, I think I pitched, I just reached out to them asking for an initial meeting. And from that initial meeting, I think I went to them, got to go to a meeting at Celtic Park, which made me feel like very important. And that was another one. A lot of my family are Celtic fans, so I was like, guess what I'm going to do? So yeah, took maybe 4 or 5 ideas and we've kind of just ran with them. Like, they loved the ideas. We've done bits and pieces over the years, maybe the last 2 years. So yeah, so that's how it started. And it's going really well. Like, they're still have a good relationship with Celtic. I'm hoping that continues. Yeah, they've been really receptive to us and really forthcoming, like, about having us in, familiarising our puppies in the stadium. And that's with or without the cameras there. Like, they're really keen to help and really promote inclusion and accessibility within Celtic Park.
And like you mentioned, the football clubs, one of the things that you've been encouraging them to do is have puppies come along for familiarisation visits to football stadiums. Why is that important for guide dog puppies?
Yeah, well, football stadiums they're completely unique in their design. I don't think that that's an experience for puppies that can really be replicated. Mm-hmm. There's so much, even like the stairs, the seating, the concourse, turnstiles. If you're going to other, like, certain grounds, maybe a lower league, you have terracing.
Yeah.
So things like that you can't really replicate. So having the puppies along on a non-match day first, just to get them used to the stadium, and then having them along to a match day, that's the sort of process that I like to pitch to the clubs.
Yeah.
And having them there on a match day, they've already had that sort of basic experience of going along.
They're familiar with the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're just really introducing that crowd noise. Just as an example of that, one of the ideas at Celtic was to have puppies walking out with players, similar to a Broth.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing 7 puppies again though, because that was just...
Especially on that scale as well.
Well, that's it. I thought 60,000 people.
If something goes wrong, that's going to be your viral clip.
Well, that's it. And they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but yes, there is. So, and also, if one of the dogs runs off, I don't want to be the one having to run after the dog.
It, yeah.
So yeah. So to make that happen, to get the puppies ready for that experience, walking out in front of 60,000 like spectators, making a racket. We took the pups along non-match day, then took them along to, I think it was Celtic Aberdeen. That was when Aberdeen were top of the league, I believe.
Yeah.
So not last season, the season before. And then
a wee while ago now.
Yeah, they sort of fell away.
Yeah.
Took them along to that match, and then that prepared them for the Celtic Dundee match on Halloween. So that their puppy team were like, yeah, those pups are good to go.
Yeah.
And you know what, it went amazingly. And see, standing at the side and watching, I think it was Luke McCowan for that match, bringing out one of the pups.
I was at that game with my previous guide dog Sam, and I remember it just being such a really good event as well. And thankfully there was no incidents with the dogs. And actually, funnily enough, one of the puppies I think that came out for that Dundee game was Zephyr, and that was actually ironically Harry's brother as well. Right. So it was kind of it's a very small world, the guide dogs world. But you've also done work with clubs down south as well. Did you not have Aaron Ramsdale getting involved with puppy training when he was at Arsenal and that? Yeah,
no, that was that again. I don't really have any favourites, right? But I think the ones that happened earlier on in this project have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got in touch with Arsenal. We wanted to do basically having a couple of players along for like a training session with the dogs. So I think we were supposed to have a few more, but they had lost at the weekend. And I think a lot of players were in for like extra training sessions. So we're lucky and really grateful to still have Aaron Ramsdale there, who was an absolute diamond of a guy. Like, couldn't have met a nicer person. Came along, just totally threw himself into it, was getting hands-on with the dogs, hands-on with the training. We had a guide dog owner, Arsenal fan there as well, who was talking to Aaron about audio commentary, how much that helps and how much he can really live and breathe the football despite not being able to see it. So yeah, that was brilliant. The only quite a funny story actually. So, and it shows you what can potentially go wrong. Yeah. So we worked with Aaron, did all the content. Sky Sports were there filming. So this went out as part of Sky Sports coverage of Arsenal versus Southampton.
Yeah.
It was a Friday night game, and it was when Arsenal were second in the league, I believe, or possibly top. But they were smack bang in the title race.
Yeah.
9 minutes into the match, Ramsdale's playing in goals for Arsenal and passes the ball to the Southampton player, who then goes on to score. And one look at like social media, and it was just all the comments.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God. I thought Arsenal might not put this content out because, and I would understand if they didn't, because like they don't want to open up their player to
that kind
of trolls on social media.
Yeah.
But thankfully Arsenal came back, and I think they drew the game last minute, Saka equaliser. I was jumping about the living room because I thought, yes, our content might still go out.
Never supported Arsenal so much.
Exactly. And do you know what? Like, I was so happy for Aaron as well, because I thought, what a great guy.
I think when, like, I think if they'd lost the game 1-0, it'd probably been like the story would be Aaron Ramsdale's.
Yeah.
You know, so like even getting some sort of result out of the game's kind of probably taking the pressure off a little bit.
Well, that's it. And I think, well, do you know what? I was like, I'm working with football clubs. That has potential to happen.
Yeah.
When it's a goalkeeper, as you know, like if they make a mistake, everyone knows about it. Whereas if a midfielder makes a mistake, they can sometimes get away with it.
I think ironically he wasn't there next season as well, wasn't he?
He wasn't. He wasn't. I think he actually went to Southampton.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
I'm not saying that was intentional. No, but yeah, so Aaron was brilliant. And then we also worked with Aston Villa as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was one that has sort of led me to go to more Aston Villa matches. Just because I was so impressed. It was the first time I had tried audio commentary myself, so it was just great. Like, we took a guide dog owner along. His guide dog Kip was going to be the first guide dog to sit in the home end at Villa Park. Now, I
remember seeing a video about it actually. You did some content around that, didn't you?
Yeah, so we were down, I think 2 days of filming. Went down on the Friday, just captured some shots of guide dog owner and his guide dog, like with doing a tour of the stadium, that sort of thing, a little interview with like Villa TV, and then the following day was Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest, and they were just sort of capturing his reactions while using audio commentary. So yeah, the piece was really nice actually, really quite heartwarming, and really showed the benefit that audio commentary, as well as the support that clubs provide to their fans, that all sort of tied into such a lovely piece, and all the comments afterwards were just like really warmed your heart, I would say.
Yeah, and I know Laura quite well. She's a disability access officer at Villa now. I think she was previously at Wolves before she went to Villa, and she's kind of known in the sort of disability access officer world within football as being almost like setting the gold standard for what everybody should be aiming for. She does some fantastic work at Villa, and she did when she was at Wolves as well, and on quite a limited budget as well. You know, I think a lot of people assume that these big Premier League clubs have, you know, endless pot of money to spend on things, but when it comes to access and stuff, it's sometimes very limited or even no budget to work with at all. So no, she does a fantastic job.
Yeah, I mean, even the audio commentary device that they use, I love that as well, because it was just like a little earpiece.
Yeah.
Which to me, I thought that's the way it should be. Personally, I was like, just loved it. Just because it's so easy, just clip onto your ear.
Clips around your ear.
There's no.
It doesn't interfere with your match day experience either. It's not intrusive or anything, which I find is really good as well.
Well, that's it. Because, I mean, any club who's offering audio commentary is amazing in my eyes.
Yeah.
But that's just me being like, I like this one better. Like, like just a personal viewpoint.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And more recently, obviously Scotland were in the World Cup, first time in 28 years. And I seen recently that Guide Dogs had named one of their puppies after John McGinn as well. How did that come about?
So we had a few ideas floating around for the World Cup. Obviously, being based in Scotland, being a huge Scotland fan, it was sort of top of my list to get us in the World Cup conversations somehow. So yeah, like we floated the idea of Scotland's first goal scorer, but really we wanted if we were going to name a puppy after a Scotland player or in tribute to the Scotland team, there had to be something behind it. We didn't just want it to be, we're naming a puppy McGinn because we want to be in the papers. Like, we wanted more to it. We wanted, if we are going to be doing this, it's got to be for a good reason. So because we had sort of suggested first goal scorer, and then of course McGinn scored the first goal, and then did the goggles celebration, that got us thinking. We're like, well, do you know what? Like, he does that celebration for his nephew who has sight issues, to raise awareness of like access for VI children or even just children with bad eyesight, access in sport. So for me, I was like, well,
it all kind of ties in together, doesn't it?
He's raising awareness of issues that are relevant to our service users and people we work with. And also there's like a young family based sort of down Dumfries way, and I heard their story about how much McGinn's celebration meant to them. So yeah, they're service users at Guide Dogs, so reached out to them, and honestly, speaking to the mum, like, what an amazing woman first and foremost. Like, she drives our two visually impaired kids all over the place,
really,
to give them the best opportunities for football. They both play blind football, and they also do like a lot of athletics as well. So I think they actually play for Manchester City as well.
Oh, okay.
So like, those kids, amazing at blind football, and the mum does so much for them. They said they watched the game together, the Scotland versus Haiti match.
Yeah.
And she said her and her husband were like in tears, and they felt as though it was as if, like, in her words, she said, "Thank you for remembering children like mine."
Oh.
And that just shows you, like, that celebration has touched that family so much.
Yeah.
So for us,
makes them feel seen, you know, in a world where they probably feel quite isolated, you know, with, you know, few children who you know have the same condition as their sons. So that's a great story.
So yeah, so that was one that I'm still really passionate about. We're still sharing the story. We just had McGinn's first official puppy portrait.
Yeah, I seen that on Facebook the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah, incredibly cute. Yeah. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, that's going out.
And is there any plans to have McGinn meet Puppy McGinn?
We are hoping so.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, I wouldn't say too much, just don't want to ruin the surprise. But yeah, no, that's something we would love to happen. And also, if we can have like those two children that were inspired involved as well, then I think that would just, I mean, for me, that's an amazing day at work.
Yeah.
Like, if I could make that happen, then I can go to bed knowing that I've done a really good thing that day.
Yeah.
And that's, to be honest, that's the most important thing for me in all the work that I do. When I share stories, if I can inspire people, if I can make somebody feel heard, if they want to share an issue that they have, or they're passionate about a particular campaign issue, if I can amplify that voice, if I can make positive change in my small role, then I can go to bed happy.
That must make your role feel really rewarding when you get stories like that, and being able to share that story and seeing what impact it has on families, isn't it?
Yeah, it honestly does. Like, I don't think there's many people that can say they absolutely love their job. Don't get me wrong, some days I'm like,
yeah, I'm sure it's not all sunshine and rainbows every day, but I imagine that the stories like that more than make up for it.
Yeah, and as I said before, like having that opportunity from guide dogs to be creative, and the fact that guide dogs are so receptive to our ideas, and because basically you then get to take an idea and see it through, and getting that end product. And yeah, I do like those sort of emotive stories that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
So I think if I'm passionate about this, other people will be passionate about this.
Absolutely, and I imagine, like, you've also got a visual impairment yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine working in the sort of media comms sides, is that quite challenging? I mean, I imagine working for guide dogs makes it a bit easier, like with the support and that. Mm-hmm. But for I imagine anybody getting into media or journalism and comms in general as an industry, it must be quite challenging if you've got a visual impairment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does have its challenges. Like, so for me to use a laptop, I use software called ZoomText, which helps me navigate around. And I would say with that, I can work just as quickly and efficiently as someone who's sighted.
Yeah. That like magnifies the screen and changes the contrast and things like that, doesn't it?
So, but yeah, in terms of like getting out and about, I think it's just the same sort of issues that impact people in everyday life, I suppose. Like, it's the transport not being able to drive. Like, we live in Scotland, which is quite remote areas. And of course we have like stories that are happening in those areas or events that are taking place in those areas. So don't get me wrong, I try and hitch a lift anytime I can.
Yeah, quite right.
So yeah, I make it work, and sometimes I'm a bit cheeky by asking for lifts, but but even if I need to get trains for like whatever, like just part of the job, isn't it?
I think I remember last year coming out with you to St Andrews to Dundee United for you, living on the west coast. I think it was like 2 trains and a bus or something to get out to St Andrews and that. So I imagine the travelling must be quite
that's
a challenge.
And I don't know if you remember as well. Well, you probably will. How difficult it was to find that training ground.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I was exhausted by the time we got there because I think we'd circled it about 3 times.
Yeah. I think from now on, I'm like, if I'm working with a football club, just take me to your stadium. Like, stadiums are easy to get to. Training grounds, not so much, because, I mean...
It was like tucked away in the back of a building somewhere. It was crazy,
And I think like SatNav didn't really take you exactly to where you needed to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was... We got our steps in that day, didn't we?
We certainly did. Yeah.
And we still made it in time, I think.
Yeah, we weren't late or anything. I think there's people that turned up after us as well.
Yeah. So there you go. There's one of the challenges. Following SatNav to football training grounds is definitely a challenge.
You find that with a lot of football grounds, especially the training grounds anyway. They're always out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. And I've got some stats on my phone that I read from your Facebook page just a few weeks ago, and a few days ago, I think it was, wasn't it?
Earlier this week, I think.
So you surveyed, was it? Did you say it was 2,000 adults?
Yeah, so we polled 2,000 adults and asked them questions around their understanding of guide dogs and what a guide dog can do.
And some of those stats is 30% of respondents think that guide dogs can read traffic lights. 26% believe they act as guard dogs. 20% think that guide dogs can identify bus routes, and 9% think that it's okay to feed guide dogs when working. I was quite shocked by some of them. I was like, cause some of them are a bit like, you assume that most people know that, but obviously not. So is there plans to do kind of more public awareness with that kind of data and stuff?
Yeah, so that was our misconceptions story that we put out earlier this week. And the purpose of that is to highlight the misconceptions, I suppose, that people have about guide dogs, and we want people to have a better understanding, essentially, and also feel more confident when interacting with a guide dog owner. So yeah, I think that could lead to better access for people.
Yeah.
But also, as I say, better interactions. Like, we want people to know what a guide dog does, know that you shouldn't approach a working guide dog, certainly that you shouldn't feed a working guide dog.
Yeah.
I mean, 9% to me, I thought,
it's quite high. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound high, but it is.
Well,
That's like 1 in 10 people think it's okay to just go up and feed them.
yeah, well,
Guide dog almost is.
I actually thought about it in football terms because my brain is
As
very
you do,
much football
yeah.
focused. And then when you think about it, that's in a 60,000 seater stadium. That's what.
Nearly 9,000 people. Well, no,
So
it's 3.
6,000.
Yeah, 6,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, 6,000. Yeah.
That's 6,000 people that are trying to give your guide dog a bit of their pie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
When you think about it like that, it's pretty high.
It's, yeah. Yeah, it is. I know if you sort of extrapolate it into larger numbers of people, it is a large amount of people. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, could be a number of reasons, really. I mean, we do everything we can, essentially, to put out positive, informative messages around guide dogs. We've got so many campaigns. I think one of those stats was actually around access refusals, and it was 55% of people know that it's illegal for a taxi driver to refuse a guide dog without a medical exemption certificate. So, I mean, that means that's what, 45% that don't know that.
Yeah. That's quite alarming, isn't it?
Yeah, and that sort of ties in with our campaigns to end access refusals. We want to make that a thing of the past, and I know you've had experience of that yourself, John.
Yeah, and that interesting you saying that about the 55% of people, thinking that, knowing that it's okay for taxi drivers to refuse access to guide dogs, because actually the biggest problem with access refusals has been taxi drivers. That's where I've experienced access refusals the most. So yeah, there's maybe something there to do more work with, like, taxi companies and rideshare companies like Uber and things like that. Because Uber, I would say, I always find, like, the main taxi companies, like here in Glasgow taxis, I think it's City Cabs in Edinburgh, the sort of black cab companies. They're brilliant. All the taxi drivers seem to. I've never ever had an issue with the sort of black cab companies, even down in London, and that. It always seems to be when I use, like, an Uber or one of the smaller taxi companies, that seems to be kind of like where the problem is.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably work that guide dogs could maybe do with taxi companies and, like, Uber and that in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you remember, we actually, when we were at the SNP conference, so, like, obviously Guide Dogs goes along to these conferences of all parties just to have a presence and speak to politicians and highlight our campaign issues.
Up in Aberdeen, wasn't it?
That's right. And one of those campaign issues that we were highlighting was actually access refusals.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
you and I went to get a taxi to the station from the venue, didn't we? And
we did. And what happened?
The driver said no. And the funny thing about that is you were more raging than me.
I was fuming. But you know what?
See, it happens to me all the time, but it's like, and you were, like, taking pictures of his car and everything.
Yeah. Do you know what it was? I mean, in my job, I talk about access refusals a fair bit, and, like, try and highlight it and hear people's stories.
Yeah.
But I think being there and seeing it firsthand.
Was that the first time you'd sort of seen an access refusal, was it?
That was, and yeah, did make me angry, didn't it?
I remember you on the phone to Niall while we were in the other taxi. I think afterwards it was.
Yeah, I was thinking, do you know what? I was like, I think I might just write a press release to the Press and Journal tomorrow. So yeah. I mean, I think the fact that happens is it's just blatant discrimination. And Guide Dogs does campaign to put an end to that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems crazy to me because like that's essentially like saying to a wheelchair user, "Oh yeah, I can't take your wheelchair in the car." You know, it's I think people see like just the dog and not see the mobility aids and the assistance that they provide to visually impaired people.
Yeah,
and just being able to get out and about because of their dogs, and then it's incidents like that, particularly around taxis.
Mm-hmm.
There's still that kind of impediment to independence as well. It's frustrating.
I think as well, like one of those other statistics was around like people interacting with a working guide dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as if that was higher than it should be, certainly.
Yeah.
And we were chatting before we came in here, weren't we, around like that poll was 2,000 adults, and it would be interesting to compare it if it was 2,000 children.
Yeah.
Because guide dogs do a lot of, like, we have a speaker service where people go out and volunteers will go out and speak to children and like local groups. And I think they love going out to those events. Like, it's children are such a receptive audience that are not afraid to ask the questions. Sometimes a bit wild. Yeah. But yeah, like I feel as though that in itself, if you were to compare it to children, but also, I mean, that should really be like people should know that by now, you would think.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've done a few talks at schools, and they're all like I've actually done talks at like sort of more like conferences or panels and things like that, where it's all kind of adults in the room as well. And actually, I prefer the school ones because they're much more fun to do, and you get much more interesting questions.
I can imagine.
Like they're actually really, like, you get some, like there was one kid at a school I went to just a few months ago to do a talk, and like I got to the end of it, his hand went straight up, and the teacher says, "Yes, what is it?" He goes, "How do you pick up your guide dog's poo?" It's just like, I was like, I use a dog bag.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
But I quite like questions like that because it shows their curiosity.
Yeah.
And they're really and you find it when you're actually speaking to the kids in the schools as well. Like, they're not chatting amongst themselves or scrolling on their phones or anything. They're really engaged and
which is rare.
And listening. Exactly. It's I mean, it always helps having a dog beside you as well. But
I think as well, like, see, getting that understanding out there that's being blind doesn't mean that you can see nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like, people think it's like black or white, and it's not. Like, just looking at my own experience of sight loss, like, so I'm registered as severely sight impaired.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've lived with since I was around 16 years old. And I think that was a challenge for me in terms of people's understanding of my sight.
Yeah.
And what I can and can't see. And because to me, I think of it as like, it is a bit of a hidden impairment.
Yeah.
Until you spend 5 minutes with me and you see me try to use my phone and magnify or hold it really close.
Yeah.
Or if you go out with my like eye contact range. Like, unless you've got glasses on or like dark eyebrows, so like
trying to make out features and things like that.
Yeah, or walking past someone in the street and not recognising them. Like, it's probably
like when somebody goes past and goes hello, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know who that was."
Or if someone beeps a horn, I'm just like, "Hi." Might not be beeping at me, but
just wave anyway.
We're now friends.
Have you ever considered a guide dog yourself?
I haven't. And well, my wife's allergic to dogs, firstly.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Yeah, because I mean, I've even, like, so many people ask me, I had guide dogs, like, what about puppy raising or fostering a guide dog or things like that? And I'm like, wife's allergic. I'm fighting a good fight for a cat at the moment, so watch this space.
So more cat content on the guide dogs page.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, I feel like with my vision impairment, I feel like I've always maybe not struggled to accept it. At a younger age, I definitely did. And I didn't even wear glasses until basically I walked out of the bathroom and into my bedroom, and there was people who have pets, right? So I had a cat at the time and leant down and said, "Hiya, Tara," in that very excited, over enthusiastic voice that you do when you're speaking to a pet.
Yeah.
That was not Tara.
Oh no.
That was a handbag. So
oh no.
Like at that point, I thought, nah, something's got to give. Like, I need to get, because even throughout that time, like in school, I would copy, like if they were writing something down on the board, I would copy from the person beside me's jotter, rather than admitting that I had a sight issue.
That you couldn't read it,
Yeah, so I'm definitely a lot better now, like in terms of accessing support or like just not caring how I'm perceived or what other people think, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always, like at that point, it was the early 2010s, and I felt as if there was a lot of stigma around disability at that time. So yeah, I think I've definitely come a long way since then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose working with guide dogs has probably helped with that journey as well, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely empowered me, I would say. I think that's part of Guide Dogs' ethos. Like, we want to empower people to live active and independent lives. And I can't preach that without doing it myself. Like,
yeah.
So that's the way I see it.
And Guide Dogs is quite a large employer of sort of blind and partially sighted people as well, aren't they?
Yeah. I have fantastic colleagues who have lived experience of sight loss. And yeah, like, sometimes I'm just amazed at like how exceptionally amazing they are, but not just in terms of like their work. I just mean as people, because as anyone with a vision impairment has gone through a lot to get to where they are now. So yeah, like just the fact that we're all in there sort of mucking along, and we all are open and honest about the challenges we faced throughout our sight loss journey, so to speak. So yeah, it's a good place to work, fantastic place to work.
Yeah.
With fantastic people who really care about the work that they do.
Yeah. No, it's really good to hear. And is there anything that you're working on at the moment, or anything that Guide Dogs are sort of trying to get the message out there at the moment that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so at the moment we have quite a high priority like for recruiting volunteers.
Yep.
So that's in dog and non-dog roles, but puppy raising in like quite a few areas in Scotland, we're really looking for more puppy raisers. They look after a puppy for around 14 months at home, teaching basic skills, commands, and introducing them to everyday experiences.
Yeah.
And they may also get like fun PR opportunities to come along. Like, if you're
like
a football
clubs.
Yeah, if you're a football fan, go become a puppy raiser. I might rope you into some football work. But yeah, and we're also offering that now, like in a shorter term puppy raiser role. So if someone can't commit to the full 14 months or however long it is, they can do like 6 months at the start of a puppy's journey or 6 months at the end of a puppy's journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that might suit some people better. Some people might not be as sort of confident handling a younger puppy, but a slightly older puppy, fine. So yeah, we're sort of opening that up a little bit, adding a little bit of flexibility there to try and get more people in the door to help us essentially create more guide dog partnerships, reduce waiting times for people, and fostering as well. That's
around
our Forfar site and our Hamilton site. We're looking for fosterers, and they look after a trainee guide dog in the evenings and at the weekends.
So it's just like sending them off to school then, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
well, that's it.
Like, then, like dropping them off, picking them up and having them at the weekends.
Yeah, so they bring them in the morning. The dog has their school day.
And that's the dogs that are a bit older and in their formal training, isn't it?
That is, yeah. So that's dogs from around, let's say, 14 months, if that's when the puppy raising journey ends.
So almost when they're fully qualified, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got early training, advanced training.
And I think one of the things, I've often spoke to people and asked them if they'd consider puppy raising. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that puts people off is like, they think it would be cost-wise as well, like to feed the dog and the vet bills. But Guide Dogs covers all that, don't they?
We do, yeah. So there's like no cost to being a puppy raiser. People might want to go out and buy their own wee toys and stuff.
And that, yeah.
But yeah, like there's no cost. We cover like food bills, vet bills. So yeah, I think another thing people say is, I couldn't give the dog back.
Yeah.
But I think going into it with the understanding that this is a role that you're doing to really change someone's life and give them freedom, confidence, like independence to go out and live the life that they choose to live.
Yeah, and being part of that journey as well for somebody, it must. I can imagine. I know a lot of puppy raisers who have said that it's a very, very rewarding journey for them, and what a lot of people getting into puppy raising might not realise is like when we qualify with the dogs, if they want to, they can have their details passed on to the new guide dog owner, and when the dog qualifies, the guide dog owner can get in touch to let them know that they're qualified, send them pictures and things like that. And that's something, I mean, I'm on my third guide dog now, and it's something I've always done because the puppy raiser has been a huge part of that dog's journey into getting them into a fully qualified guide dog. And I think that's the very, very least that I could do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, I can just imagine if you're a puppy raiser, getting that message must just make it like so worthwhile. Like, there might be some like heartbreak at that sort of giving back stage, but that's a very real example of like, this is what you've done. Like, this is how you've changed my life. And to me, like, that must make it so worthwhile.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And if people want to get involved or get in touch with yourselves, how can they do that?
Yeah, so if you're interested in volunteering with guide dogs, just head over to guidedogs.org.uk/volunteer, and you can put in your postcode and essentially you'll see all the roles that are available in your area.
Perfect. I'll put all the links in so people can just click the link and go straight there.
Thanks so much.
No, thank you for joining me, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. As I say, always great to catch up with you, John.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.